Disney is suing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, claiming he punished Disney by taking over its special self-governing theme park district. Disney says the move was in retaliation for the company's opposition to a state law which bans lessons about sexual orientation and gender identity in schools. A spokeswoman for DeSantis said, quote, "We are unaware of any legal right that a company has to operate its own government or maintain special privileges not held by other businesses in the state." So I want to bring in Gary Fineout now to talk a little bit more about this. He is the co-author of Politico's Florida Playbook newsletter. Thanks for joining us this morning. Okay, I'm going to ask you to do this as concisely as possible, but I feel like I had to bring people up to speed. Can you kind of tell us really quickly the history of tit for tat between Disney and DeSantis and how we got here?
Well, it basically started last year when Disney ultimately took this stance against the Parental Rights and Education Bill, which has also been called Don't Say Gay by its critics. After the company came out against the legislation and said it wanted to repeal, then the legislature and DeSantis acted very quickly. They went to dissolve the special district that controls Disney's land. And then earlier this year in a special session, they followed it up with new legislation that created a completely new board that would oversee the special district. So you had all that going on. But before that new board got put in place, Disney got a development agreement approved by the old board that the new board said takes away their power. Then DeSantis came back and said, well, we're going to come back after you. We're going to void that agreement. That board voided the agreement yesterday, but minutes after they did that, Disney filed its lawsuit.
And so what is Disney asking for in this lawsuit?
They're basically asking a court to invalidate the previous laws that have been passed by the legislature. Of course, they want attorney's fees and costs, but they want these previous actions declared unconstitutional, and they want basically to have the court block the state from taking any more action against them. And as you pointed out, the lawsuit says this is retaliation. They cite various federal rights that they contend have been violated, including their First Amendment rights and contracts and due process and such. And while this is going on, by the way, the legislature is also putting in other requirements onto Disney.
Right. And I should say expanded in the meantime, the, quote unquote, Don't Say Gay law to include sort of more kids, more grades, right?
Well, there is a bill that's doing that, but then also the DeSantis administration, through the Board of Education, has also expanded it to 12th grade.
Okay. So for people outside of Florida, they may be unfamiliar with the special tax district. DeSantis's office said, we're unaware of some right that businesses have, but there are a lot of these special tax districts in Florida. I'm thinking Celebration is one of them, a community that's almost smack dab in the middle of the whole Disney sort of complex. Tell us what a special tax district is, and are there other businesses in Florida that enjoy this? I know there are communities, but other businesses as well?
Well, there are plenty of special districts in Florida, and they are usually set up through law and what have you. A particular area that is involved in special district is called the Villages, the large sprawling retirement community in Central Florida. But the special districts for the Villages it had the power to create public facilities and amenities and things of that nature that serve the development. Clearly, it helps the developer to have that. But none of these special districts, as far as I'm aware, rival what Disney had with the Reedy Creek Improvement District. It was truly a unique creation, which was done back in the late 60s, as the offering to Disney to get them to come to Florida. And what one can clearly say is that Disney has helped transform Florida into what it is today.
Good point. I think I was confusing Celebration with the other community that you just mentioned. So I'm glad that you kind of brought that up for me. I appreciate it. Gary Fineout, I'm sure we'll be talking to you some more about this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.